That's right.
Yeah. Not too much, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna send out the link. Oh, sweet! That it automatically tweets out that we're.
Oh yeah, when I was doing the in your house ones, I set that up, so I didn't have to think about it. Just automatically will send out a tweet.
All right, I'm just. Don't mind me, listeners and viewers. I am literally just writing this tweet out as we chat wrestling. Okay, welcome everybody. Okay, welcome everybody to SQW 32 Slumber Slam. Oh my god!
We're not dead. We're still going on.
We're not dead.
We're not dead.
It's been a while. It's been over a month. Thank you, JJ, for filling in with a short an episode that kind of died towards the end a little bit. That's right. You tried. That's good. It's been a summer, which means we've been doing all kinds of. Well, I know I've been doing all kinds of summer-related stuff. I'm glad the dudes have bared with me, borne with me. I don't even know what the word is. Bared. I think it's bared. Which is funny because we actually started this podcast right around this time last year. So that actually can hop. Happy 1 year anniversary, SQW.
Hey,
woo, we did it. We survived.
We made it.
We did. It's pretty funny. I just realized that. And we're shutting down the podcast. No, just kidding. But we have
the final episode of
We'll do like a crazy send-off whenever that happens. Welcome to SQW 32. Lots of fun. It's been a while. I'm glad to be chatting with you, gent. It's been a bizarre kind of summer wrestling wise. I know there's actually been a couple other shows. I think the last time we talked, we were starting to really get into Glow, and maybe John, you've finished the series, right? Have you both of you guys watched it?
Yes. I've started it. I haven't.
You started, yeah. I've started it. We got through a few episodes, but John, you managed to finish it up. Mm-hmm. And then there's some other news. What's something like Wrestling Circus? Is that something on Twitch somewhere? I don't know. We'll get around it, but I'm gonna let you guys handle the mission today since I've been so out of it, and I'm gonna be surprised at anything that pops up, which is great.
Yeah.
What was the last pay-per-view? What the hell was the last pay-per-view?
It wasn't Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah.
Oh god,
yeah,
wasn't it?
One prior to that.
Yeah.
I don't have my championship, but I am the current reigning and defending SQW champion. Despite my
you've held it for a couple months by default.
Well, I've gone beyond the 30 days of defending, but that's not necessarily my fault.
Oh, Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. Yeah. That would have been the last one. Yeah. Not much has changed on SmackDown since then, really.
Yeah,
it really hasn't. It's been pretty par for the course, which is.
I guess what we really have to talk about is just how sort of abysmal the pay-per-view was. Last SmackDown pay-per-view was.
Oh yeah, please. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was like from start to finish, like everything was booked horribly, and even your main event is a very bad. The Punjabi prison match is a bad TV and crowd match. Like the people in the crowd can't see what's happening, and the people on TV can see better, but not that great. And
it's not better; it's barely.
Yeah,
it's got the two cages, and they're both got that white bamboo pole covering the steel, and everything seems super thick. And man, it's just impenetrable.
And it's just this over bloated, like a convoluted match situation where it's
a bunch of rules that don't matter.
Yeah, like they have there's like 4 trap doors that you can get out of, but they only stay open for like 30 seconds, and then they're shut and locked for the rest of the match. And which never mean anything. Like there's a reason
it doesn't
why.
mean anything.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's only been done twice. It's because it's bad. Like, the first time out of the gate, you can sort of think like, well, it's a gimmick match. Maybe it'll work, and then nobody who saw it thought it worked, but they went right back to that well 2 more times since the original.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense that they wouldn't have like looked at the match and maybe said, how can we improve this? Like, how can we make, like, I mean, granted, they're not going to improve the visualization of what's happening in the ring, but in terms of those silly rules with the little doors and all that kind of stuff, like, there's such window dressing that's unnecessary.
Yeah, it was just like, and like, you know, it had a couple of fun little moments, like the Bollywood boys like squeezing in between one of the openings of the bamboo cage and all that stuff, and falling off the top through the announce table. But that was sort of like just two small moments, and the rest of it was just a miserable match. Nobody who saw that match thought it was a good match, period. Like, I can't imagine the people involved in it thinking it was a good match. The most memorable moment from that match is the Great Khali coming out.
The Great Khali. I was just going to say that was your crescendo to what was already just a brutal match to watch. And I mean, the previous match between Orton and Jinder wasn't that bad. Like, it was an improvement over the one before that. So yeah, this is the third one of that series. And the second one was the better one, like Empire Strikes Back, right? But it was, but this one just was full of, you know, Ewoks.
Yeah. Great Khali was the world's biggest Ewok.
The giant Ewok, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it was Edge on their podcast that him and Christian do was saying how hilarious it was that during the celebration, the Great Khali takes the belt and holds it up over his head like he's the champion. Yeah, like, because he just says, because he knows what he's thinking in his head is, this is going to be on the front page of India newspapers of, you know, Great Khali world champion.
which all say that he's a world champion. Like, there's no disagreement that or continuity with what's going on. Like, he's a champ, unbeaten, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then, you know, on the same pay-per-view, you had Baron Corbin versus Shinsuke Nakamura. That ends with Shinsuke getting kicked in the junk, and that was the match. Like.
Yeah, and then they had that match on SmackDown the following night, which was actually was a pretty good match, and so then the internet community is going, well, why wasn't that on the pay-per-view? Like, which makes sense to me too. Why did you
expect people to pay for that one and then give them the other? It's WCW booking. That's how they did it. They did that constantly, and that's sort of the hole they're falling into constantly now. Is you know, they're giving away stuff on TV that should be on pay-per-view. Case in point, John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Right.
Yes.
Number one contendership that they just had. Like, that is, like, you know, that's pay-per-view. New Japan Pro Wrestling would have had that be the main event of Wrestle Kingdom.
Wrestle Kingdom, yeah.
It's a 40-minute match that they made, you know, 15 minutes on TV for free, like
with a commercial break, I believe.
Yeah, with a commercial break in it, like it is.
Yeah. So I mean, I think JBL talked about it on that Bringing It to the Table episode lately. He was saying that why, you know, putting it on free TV puts it in front of the most eyes, and you know, the pay-per-view is only going to have so many eyes because it's on the network. And it's like they already understand that it's a niche audience that's watching it, because their biggest spike in people of subscribers is during WrestleMania season, which it is definitely not anymore. They had a big drop in subscriber numbers in their last announcement. So putting it on TV allows more people to see Nakamura beat Corbin clean and then beat John Cena clean.
Yeah, and it all works well in theory, but you have to book the matches as if they are pay-per-view matches. Like, just because you're trying to get the most eyes on it, if you're doing it that way, you have to give the most eyes on it and have it be a positive experience. Like, make booking a 20-minute match with a commercial break, breaking it up on TV, and a match that really isn't both guys going all in on it is like, that should be a massive match. John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
It should be really big.
It should be a massive match, but you know, they announce it the week before on TV, and then you know it's 8:30 and the match hasn't started yet, or it's 7:30 and the match hasn't started yet, or whatever. You know, like, like, you know, okay, well, I guess this is just going to be what it is. So
I was listening to another podcast my friend and I are fans of, called it's called the Jack Tunney Show. And they actually had a great point, and they said that Well, I mean, ideally at SummerSlam, it should have been John Cena versus Nakamura, but what we've had happen is, now Nakamura's going to fight Jinder, John Cena's going to fight Baron Corbin in two matches that are probably not going to be very good, or potentially not very good.
Yeah.
And they said, imagine that was booked back in the day when you had, if you had Hogan versus the Warrior, and they broke that off. They put that on free TV, broke it off, and you had him fighting the Barbarian and
the Warlord.
And the Warlord.
The Warlord.
Something like that, right? Like this, breaking them off into two matches that really are not going to be as good as what the big match really was.
Yeah. They've fallen into a weird booking black hole right now. Like, they can't, there's not much they can do to make things right now either, which is the problem. Mm-hmm. Like, when you look at the roster and everything, it should just be A+ after A+, but they haven't really set anything up. They haven't booked anything.
Yeah.
Like, what can they do to turn SmackDown around? Like, right now? Because SmackDown is the better show, but that's not saying a lot right now. Like, I can't actually make it through an episode of Monday Night Raw right now.
Yeah. It's a, at the best of times, it's a real slog. Yeah. The 3 hours. I'm enjoying the main event stuff with the four Haases, know. But then they gave away 3/4 of that match on television the other day.
Yeah, and this Monday they announced that it's going to be Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns in a last man standing match.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
That's pay-per-view feud blow-off. This is a terrible idea to be a match 2 weeks before. It's not even the week before SummerSlam.
No.
It's 2 weeks before SummerSlam. Like, what are you doing with that? What do you hope to accomplish booking that match? Like, what's the end game for that particular match? I don't understand. Like,
it's got to be someone who moves on to defeat Brock Lesnar, right?
Yeah. I mean, clearly that match is just going to be a bunch of schmozzing,
Oh, yes.
There'll be interference and whatever nonsense. It's hard to be interested in a main event where your champion that everyone's about to fight is never there. Like, it's always 3 of the 4. It's Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and sometimes Brock Lesnar, usually via teleprompter or something, like Titantron interview or something. So it's been really hard for me to get into Monday Night Raw lately, since those 4 guys are kind of it. Like, like, who else is there to really root for? Like, I've been enjoying the Goldust stuff kind of, just because it's fun to see old Goldust. I just like the promos, not necessarily the matches that they've been getting after or whatever. But
yeah.
With SmackDown, even if the booking isn't that great, you still have like great segments, and there's still all the talent is over there. Like, you have AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Nakamura, the New Day's over there. You got
I mean, New Day and the Usos are doing some good stuff. I mean, the rap battle was good, and the match they had. That match they had at the previous pay-per-view was probably the only good show. Good match on the card, really.
Yeah, that was. And like, even at Battlegrounds, you had AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens in that weird finish that everyone wasn't certain was it an accident? Was it what happened? So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, and it doesn't help that this is all in the background of all of this is the G1 from New Japan.
Oh, right.
So like, all of this poor booking and like weird match results and like TV stuff. And in the background is just the G1 stuff going on, all the New Japan tournament stuff, which has all been fantastic. Like,
pretty phenomenal. Yeah.
It's just been great match after great match, and we still we're just around the corner from Okada Omega 3 at this point in this G1 situation. So, I mean, right now, it's the best wrestling to be watching on however you're going to take it in. Like,
right.
On X, I recently just signed up full for New Japan.
Yeah, you told that. Yeah, you mentioned that.
So it's been, it's funny to see, like, you could tell the American dollar fluctuating from the Japanese dollar, because it's a different price every month now. It's like $9.19 this month, $9.30 the next month. But it's been really, really high quality wrestling coming out of there, and there's too much to talk about in like just in this thing because it's been going on for 2 weeks now, 2.5 weeks.
But look at where look at where New Japan is and what draws people to that, which is just the quality of the matches. People want, and that's why I'm drawn to it. That's why I'll watch highlights and videos and clips and stuff, because I want to see some great matches. I don't do that for WWE. For WWE, it's I'm there for storylines and bad guys and stuff.
The theatrics, the sports entertainment part of it. New Japan. Really, like the storytelling is all sort of mostly contextual. It's like there's a lot of the story is being told in the ring and built, and outside of the ring, it's built around whatever the previous matches or two did or whatever. So, but
by the way, welcome to all of our viewers. We have several viewers right now.
Oh, great!
We hope that we're talking about stuff you like, which is wrestling. So. This is all leading into SummerSlam, right? And some of the matches. We talked about the Fatal 4-Way with what do you call him? Bork Laser?
Bork Laser, yeah.
Bork Laser. Yep. Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman. You have Naomi versus Natalya, Alexa Bliss versus Bayley, Jinder versus Shinsuke, Neville versus Akira Tozawa, AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, Randy Orton versus Rusev, and New Day versus the Usos.
And they're saying it sounds like there'll be Cena versus Corbin. That hasn't taken its form yet. And AJ Styles is the referee, or Shane McMahon's the referee in the AJ Kevin match, which I mean, it's the writing's been on the wall for a while that they're leading towards a Kevin Owens Shane McMahon program. So obviously we know where that whole thing's going. It's a pretty good SummerSlam card. Like, I like all of those matches. Even Jinder versus Nakamura is so weird that I dig it.
The what's gonna happen factor. Like, how do you book that? I think I agree. I think it's a good card on paper, but I'm not. They really got to turn the heat up to get people really interested in it. I mean, if it's supposed to be as big, I mean, last year SummerSlam was massive in terms of their promotion and the build and all that stuff, coming right off the brand split. This has got to. I don't know what they can do to really turn it up, but
I think
SummerSlam always been their sort of like it's the event for the smarks, like the this is the diehard crowd. Like WrestleMania is just for the media attention, and SummerSlam is the one where this will be the one where Shinsuke Nakamura becomes world champion somehow. Like even though you have the constant threat of Baron Corbin looming in the distance with his Money in the Bank.
Looming in the distance would be horrible. I would say that they're having to fight which is the following week is the Conor McGregor, the Mayweather fight. So that is just everybody has that date circled, and so people are kind of sidestepping wrestling to get into this UFC. It's the boxing match with some UFC flavoring to it, but I think a lot of folks are gearing up for that instead, and it may have taken some of the quote unquote thunder, some of the air out of that balloon for SummerSlam.
Just absolutely suck the wind out of their sails. Trying to like there's no way, there's nothing you can do to book an event to be bigger than that match.
No,
like even at $100 what the pay-per-view is going to cost to see it, like it's going to do bigger than anything.
Really, the only thing they could do is if somehow they got McGregor and Mayweather in the WWE to do like a ring,
Yeah, and this is all at the same time. Again, it's there. You have in the background the Brock Lesnar stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think that those rumblings are no accident. By the way,
no. This is how it always plays out too. Like and they're using it to their advantage because now they had on Monday Brock Lesnar's like, if I don't leave the SummerSlam as champion, I'm leaving the WWE. Like, so, and everyone's using the UFC, like, storyline wise. So the rumors of Brock Lesnar going to the UFC is a storyline again. So, you know, they're playing into it, but I don't think anyone doubts for a minute that Brock Lesnar isn't going to wind up in the UFC for, like, at this point. Like, against John Jones, like, which is a weird match I don't want to see, but I'll see it anyways because I have to. I just have to. That's a big fight. Like, I want to see the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight, but I have to get together a group for that one. That's like that's go to a bar or get together 5 people all pitch it in for a pay-per-view or something. Because
but McGregor Mayweather is gonna, will it be the top, the biggest grossing pay-per-view of all time? Like, is it gonna happen?
It probably going to be. It will be that. Like, there's you know, they waited too long on, you know, Mayweather Pacquiao. Like, that fight was like 2 years too late kind of situation. But now this is like the match has been sort of teased, and within like a year, or, you know, they've put it together. So it's.
And this media tour they've been doing, just to badmouth each other once a week, it's just been...
That was fantastic.
Huge. They're selling tickets to those things.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing the WWE should really look at, that kind of, you know, the preparation and the kind of whole media aspect prior to something like a big pay-per-view, like even like WrestleMania or SummerSlam or something. One of the big four, I guess, or some of the other ones where they're parading these guys around and you have them do this type of promotion. I think it will, if anything, you'll get some of those the diehard wrestling fans to come out to some events, or you know, it could just spark some SportsCenter highlights, which would help you know, continue advertising.
I think WWE should start testing out, use SmackDown as their base, and just start testing out different ways to present the program in general. Because they teased that when Shane McMahon when he was talking about taking over SmackDown and stuff. He's like, it's going to be filmed differently. It's going to have different. Like, you know, they never really went through with any of that. Like, they like the first couple of weeks, they tried different camera work for SmackDown, but negative response. But, you know, use SmackDown for that kind of stuff. Maybe do stuff like that. Maybe have like New Japan after like major pay-per-views. They have like the press conference, sit down at a table with your title in front of you, like they do in MMA and boxing and stuff, like
and other sports.
I mean, if they only had like an after show that they could put on after SmackDown and have, you know, the guys come out and, you know, improv on the spot and maybe get themselves over. Like, if only they had something like that.
Yeah. But alas, no, they don't have anything like that anymore.
No.
I guess that is something that happened in between last shows, is they canceled Talking Smack.
Yeah, that's true. They did, which was kind of a shock to a lot of the talent too.
Yeah, people that were on the show.
The hosts of the show didn't know. right. Those tweets were, oh man, I mean, you're seeing this stuff happen real time, and you just gotta feel for them because they're kind of dumbfounded. Oh man, it was so bad.
Yeah. The Smacking Talk little thing that they did was super fun, though. Like,
which got canceled.
Yeah. Live on Tout.
Live on Tout.
Daniel Bryan just doesn't care right now. Like,
no.
You could tell he really it takes glee in irritating people, like the people backstage. So, boy, as we start talking about things, you just start remembering things that we've missed in our times. Like,
oh gosh, right?
Yeah. So like Enzo and Cass have broken up officially now.
All the tag teams have broken up.
Every tag team.
Every babyface tag team has broken up pretty much.
Like
Eva Marie is now gone.
Eva Marie
officially.
Gone.
Eva Marie! I can't believe she's gone. She had that great one match with Bayley on NXT that time. Yeah.
The unable to cope with costing me the championship, Austin Aries left the WWE.
Yes, Austin Aries is gone.
Unable to cope. I mean, he just felt so down that he lost.
He let me down. I let him know it, and you know.
He had to watch the show. I mean, really.
Back to the Indies for him, basically. Like, you know.
And you know, and then we got the breakup of American Alpha to reveal that Jason Jordan is actually Jason Angle.
Yeah,
you're right. Yep, there you go. Yeah,
he's Kurt Angle's illegitimate son, and boy, that's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, that went over like a fart in church, didn't it?
Yep.
Like,
they're still trying to push through that too.
Yeah, like I watched NXT that entire time when Jason Jordan was they kept trying him with different things and putting him with different partners and see what would stick, and the only thing that stuck was his partnership with Gable, because Gable just won him over, and then by proxy won us all over as a tag team. Yeah. And granted, I mean, American Alpha kind of was floundering on SmackDown there quite a bit, but just when I turned them heel, turned them into like the Varsity Club, just killing people and suplexing the crap out of them. Like,
yeah, you could get Kevin Sullivan out there in a Letterman's jacket if they needed to.
If they can bring back Paul Ellering, they can bring back Kevin Sullivan. Come on.
Yeah. But yeah, boy, they didn't even give them a chance. They had a cup of coffee as a team on SmackDown. Like, I don't understand what they think they're going to gain from any of that. Like,
the person who's going to gain is Chad Gable.
Yeah, he's already
getting matches, putting on great ones. Like,
and what after his big reveal that he is Kurt Angle's son, his first match is against Hawkins.
A competitive match with Hawkins. Hawkins got some offense on that.
Yeah, like what?
Should have killed him, but no.
Like they just like that storyline was already cement shoes. Like there's no coming. That is a storyline that is going to sort of ruin his. Like he's never gonna not be Kurt Angle's kid. Like he's going to be like out of the WWE and back and like on the indie scene, and it's still going to be like people are going to be taunting him as Kurt Angle's kid. Like
they've got. I mean, what hopefully what I presume will happen is that it'll turn out that it's a ruse, and he's kind of using Angle to forward his own career, and he's actually a heel all along. That I don't mind, and hopefully hopefully that happens sooner than it all falls apart and they just forget about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, these storylines tend to fall apart before they can ever get to the actual resolution that should happen.
Exactly.
Disappears, and just like the Vince McMahon illegitimate son angle that they had, where it was just it turns out it was Hornswoggle or whatever.
Hornswoggle. And the anonymous Raw GM who turned out to be Hornswoggle.
Yeah, things go on if you let things go on too long, it turns into a comedy angle.
Yeah,
what it's going to happen. Does. So
one thing that isn't a comedy, ready for the segue, is Shane McMahon made a crash landing in water, which was crazy.
That is the second highest fall he's ever taken. Boy, was that. When you immediately get a headline that Shane McMahon was in a helicopter crash, your brain doesn't know exactly how to process any of that.
I mean, I thought it was fake. I thought it was part of some setup.
Yeah, or it's like one of those like fake, like those new wrestling news websites that just do like kayfabe style stories of wrestling. Like, he jumped off a helicopter. What happened? I don't know.
Wrestling fan fiction.
Yeah. No, he was. That guy has quite the life. Like, hey, now you survived a helicopter crash. It's great.
Yeah.
Like, and he was like interviewing, like he sprung. In terms of like, if you're going by kayfabe, he sprung back out of a helicopter crash faster than falling off the top of the Hell in a Cell.
Right.
So,
yeah.
That was something else. Like. I think between the last show and now, we haven't been able to talk about how it's no longer TNA.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it is officially GFW now.
GFW.
Like GFW Impact and all that stuff. But other than that, not a whole lot of news coming out of that. It is not our place to get into the Alberto Del Rio.
All that stuff.
Right. Domestic stuff is not. That's too serious for this particular show.
It is too serious.
Yeah.
There are a few other quick little things that we could cover. One is that I know we're all fans of the Transformers movies, but John Cena has just been cast in a role in the Bumblebee spinoff, which is going to be arriving in December of 2018.
Yeah.
So expect him to be there.
Takes place in the 80s.
It does, which is perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Does it take place in the 80s?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, wow.
They have like totally retconned the entire Transformers timeline and story.
Boy, as a person that has experienced the last Transformers movie, I don't.
Oh God, it was
I don't even think they know what they're doing much anymore. So
that's the Final Night one or whatever it was called.
Yeah,
the last night.
The last night, Dark Knight Rising.
Yeah, they pretty much just made sure that the timeline is just whatever they want it to be.
Yep, it's a Doctor Who level timeline, which is like I can't follow.
Oh wow, really?
Spoiler alert: Transformers have always existed. They made the first opening moments of that movie. The Merlin, as in the magician Merlin, the wizard, makes a deal with the Transformers, and they give him his magical staff.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, there you go. It's
that is the opening scene of this new Transformers movie,
which is fantastic. It fits in perfectly with wrestling in some ways.
Yeah. This is three people who watch wrestling on a regular basis, and
it was so bad.
And it turns out that Earth is Unicron. So.
Yes, exactly. Earth is Unicron, right? Because we wouldn't know. We would, we've had scientists examining the Earth for thousands of years. We wouldn't know.
All of a sudden, a horn appears. And it's
like, nobody noticed that mustache, that robotic mustache. He had a mustache, right? He did, right?
Yeah, he did in the movie. A couple more things. One is that the WWE and Mattel are now launching a girls' product line of dolls, which is pretty cool.
That's very cool, actually. That's a pretty big deal.
They're starting to pop up on shelves now. So
and Eva Marie is one of
Eva Marie is one of the action figures.
Eva Marie.
So she's gone, but not forgotten. Apparently, they're still mooching her for all the money available. And there is one more, which I think is just the hugest story in when it comes to wrestling and entertainment in Hollywood, and that is that. We officially know the date of the Ric Flair 30 for 30, and it's coming November 7th.
Oh, thank God, eh?
How long did it take them to put this thing together? It was announced around the same time as the XFL one, I think, but...
it was announced before the XFL
one. There you go.
It was. Yeah. You're right.
So, finally. Still several months. It's going to take about a year for them to get out into the world, but there it is. It's finally
November 7th, 2018. Not this November. So
what?
You're
not serious.
November 7th, 2018. They have a trailer out.
Oh man.
It's not like WWE has put out Ric Flair documentaries. Like it's not like there's new information or anything about Ric Flair. At most, it's just going to be new footage of him drunk in an airport.
God.
Hold on. I stand corrected. It may be 2017.
Okay.
2017. Yeah, it is November 7th, 2017. Okay. Still, it'll have been well over a year in production.
Yeah. So, bless their souls for just...
Oh my God, if it was 2018. Jesus.
It wouldn't have surprised me.
Honestly. It wouldn't have surprised me.
No.
But so it has been thankfully it's been a slow-ish summer. We've been able to summarize everything all at once. There are a couple other things, like maybe we can talk about Wrestle Circus in a future episode, or finally get around to those wrestling movies. Maybe that's something we'll get to post SummerSlam. Actually, that'd probably be a good one post SummerSlam. The May Young, the classic.
That's in toward the end of the month. Yeah,
yep. So we'll get into that. And there's a few more things I think, but maybe we'll save them for next week because it's bordering 9 p.m. here, and Game of Thrones is on, and I have not watched the leaked version, so I'm actually kind of excited to catch up this week on Game of Thrones. So I'm gonna let you gents go. We will let our viewers go. Where can we find us? You can find us at SQW Podcast. You can find us individually. I'm at Dolly Demovsky. Jean, where can we find you?
At John Kehoe at John Kehoe. I'm on Twitter. your voice got me all thrown off. I'm John Kehoe. Yeah.
JJ.
___letter_J on Twitter.
Excellent. Oh, I do have to say, and you can find us also on iTunes, YouTube. Maybe we'll set up a Facebook page. That might be a fun one too. And a Discord, whatever, Twitch. I don't know. We'll set something up. I will say, I'll leave you with these parting thoughts. The Final Slam. I like that. I want to call it the Final Slam. The off the top rope. The very first NES game that I have purchased. I have. Let me backtrack a little bit. I bought a Retron N console. It lets me play my old NES games on my nice high def televisions in the home, and I put it in kind of our guest room. And I've been loving it. I played Top Gun, which is actually not a bad game, surprisingly.
Hard as hell.
It is very hard. Trying to land a plane on an aircraft carrier. I will also say that I have been searching high and dry everywhere for NES Pro Wrestling, which is it's impossible to find. And I have all the local mom and pop shops in the area. My name is like at the top of their list. If this game comes in, I don't care the price. Just put it aside for me. I'm tempted to go on to Amazon, but I know that I'm gonna get murdered
fleeced.
in price. Yeah, I'll get fleeced. But I did pick up.
It's not like you can boot up, a Wii U or 3DS or anything because they never put that on.
They never put that on there. It's so horrible. I will say that the very first game that I picked up since getting my shiny new Retron N console was the first WWF. Was it WrestleMania or was it? Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I think that's made by Rare too. Like
it might be. Well, the best part about it was I grabbed it, I cleaned, I made sure everything was set. I dropped it in and it didn't work.
Oh.
And I have no way to prove now, so I have to go take it back and I have to plead with them because it was you buy it. They are as is, so I'm gonna see if there's any way I can get those $4 back that I spent on this NES cartridge.
$4 on that.
I spent $4 whole dollars on it.
Do you know what that is Canadian? My God.
That is New Japan money.
I mean, Fire Pro is out on Steam Early Access.
I might have to pick them. We have to do a future episode. I know a few folks have been diving into that. Anyways, we will talk about that and more on the next episode. Thank you everybody for joining us. SQW.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Peace.